Hey, this is Matt Boldy, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
Hey, this is Marcus Foligno, and you're listening to Locked On Wild.
You're Locked On Wild, your daily podcast on the Minnesota Wild. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. One of the biggest shows in the history of Locked On Wilds going on tonight. And so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our host, Denny. Good evening.
Good evening, buddy, and welcome to What the Hell Are You Smoking? And I just have to say right up front, I'm a little juicy tonight. I have a lot to celebrate. We're going to get into it right now. I want to start out by talking about Billy. And you know how hard I am on Billy. No fluff pieces for me, but I have to tell you, Billy has cemented his legacy with the Minnesota Wild with the best trade the Minnesota Wild have ever had. And my hat's off to Billy for that, because you don't get Norris winners off the books like that. You just don't do it. And I guess after Billy was talking to his, his management and his group, they put together a offer that Vancouver said yes to. And now we have Quinn Hughes. And I have to tell you, I've only watched a couple games, but I can tell you this about Quinn Hughes. He reminds me of Bobby Orr. The way he skates up the ice, his vision, it's when they go left, he goes right. When they go right, he goes left. You know, Bobby Orr started, and Quinn Hughes is an example of what it is today. Okay? He's that good. He makes everybody around him better. I think you're going to see Brock Faber just take off now. You know, Brock Faber is one hell of a defenseman. And now he's going to take the next level just because of Hughes, because Hughes is that good. And of course, it's going to make the team that much better. And when you look at Colorado and Dallas, they have McKinnon and Makar. Dallas has Antonin and Hiskinen. And we now have Kaprizov and Hughes. Boy, the Central's going to be tough this year, because there's nobody can touch that. The top three teams in the league are in the Central. And because we've already beaten Colorado and Dallas, and adding Hughes, I really like our chances. In fact, I'm picking them to win the Cup. Yeah, that's right. We heard it here first. And the reason being, and one big difference is this. We have the wall from St. Paul. And you know how much I've promoted Wallstedt for the last couple of years. And of course, it's all coming to light now. He really is a special goalie. He really is. I mean, you're lucky that you get to watch him from the beginning. And of course, I won't be around when his time's in. But you can think about, you're going to tell your kids and your grandkids about how you got to watch Jesper start out his career. And it's very special, because I don't remember a goalie this good in the last 40 years. There's a couple that come into my mind, but that was a long, long time ago. He really is special, and he makes the difference. And that's why I'm picking Minnesota to win the Cup, because our defense now is number one. Even though we moved Bouillon, we have the depth somebody gets hurt, we can cover it. The only thing that we cannot, and hope nothing happens, Kaprizov can't get hurt, and Bolduc can't get hurt because we can't recover from that. Anybody else, we got the depth. So you heard it here first. I'm picking Minnesota for the first time in 25 years to win the cup. And I feel very good about it, saying it. I mean, when you look at what they bring to the table now, we are still lacking a center. And as you know, and as all the podcasters have been talking about for the last 2 weeks, is O'Reilly. Well, you know, I've been talking about O'Reilly for the last month. He's the perfect fit for us. And I hope Billy pulls the trigger on him because, you know what? O'Reilly has won the cup with St. Louis. He'd be the best of that. And who better do you want in a defensive on the penalty kill than O'Reilly? You would just help this team so much. Billy, I hope you're listening to this because you can't get anybody better that's available and on the board with that cap hit like his. He's worth whatever it takes. As you're going for it. And I'm extremely impressed. With all the stumbles and bumbles of the last 3 years, you hit a home run. You hit a grand slam. And my hat's off to you, Billy. I can't believe it, but it's happened. And I feel really good that I'm going to see a cup before I die. And what's better than that? Seth, any thoughts?
I am not going to make a prediction at this point, but that's because that's just kind of how I operate. There's nothing wrong with it. I want to see a little more from Hughes before I make a determination, but I will say that this is, I think, the best team from an elite talent standpoint that the Wild have had since at least 2021, 2022, but probably before that. They've always had the two. It's either been Kirill and Fiala or Kirill and Boldy, and Quinn Hughes now gives them a trifecta that this franchise hasn't had. I was talking to somebody earlier, where does Quinn Hughes rank from a pure talent perspective amongst any of the draft picks in Minnesota Wild history? He's got to be top 5 at least.
No, higher than that.
It is that big. It is that big of an impact move. You're talking about the premier offensive defenseman in the entire NHL. I've said this on previous shows extensively, you know, when we were all in on Tage Thompson. These types of players don't come available hardly at all. And when they do, you've got to be prepared to pay the price to get them, and you worry about the rest later. The Wilds have an infinitely better chance to win the Stanley Cup with a player like Quinn Hughes on the roster than they do without. Period. End of sentence. Point blank. And I want to throw out there too, because I think a lot of people in some of the shorts that have been posted on YouTube, I think a lot of people take my surprise that Zeev Buium was included as me thinking that the Wild could have gotten this done without him being included in the deal. No. Zeev had to be included in this. I was surprised that the Wild were willing to put him in to acquire a player like this, considering how highly we thought of Zeev. But again, it's Quinn Hughes, one of the best players on the planet. You pay the price and you deal with it after.
Well, you know, Zeev Buium is going to be a stud. He already is a stud, but he's like Quinn Hughes 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's going to get there, but he's not there yet. He's got a lot less pressure, even though he's on the number one unit scored a couple points his first game, which I love it because you know how I am on Zeke Williams. Quinn Hughes brings the Minnesota Wild to an elite level. Not only are they a contender, they can win it now. And I've never said that in 25 years of Minnesota Wild. I mean, our team, with injuries, we have enough depth that we can cover it. And that's rare to say. And it's a win-win. Vancouver gets 4 pieces, and we get Quinn Hughes. Vancouver's going to be very happy with the trade, just as we are just as happy to have Quinn Hughes. He elevates every player, just like Kaprizov does. That's how good he is. And we are so lucky. And I'm so glad that Billy decided to make the big one, because I really believe now the Wild can win it. And I've never said that about the Wild ever. And, you know, I'm just a lunatic. I don't know anything about hockey, but the little bit I do know, I'm telling you right now, you're looking at a Stanley Cup winner right here. We got the team to do it. I just hope that they pick up O'Reilly in Nashville, because that would really cement it, because we're thin and you can never have too many centers. You can put him up or down. I mean, he's won the cup. He knows what it takes. He's an excellent player. 57% in the dot. I mean, I've gone over this for the last month. There's nobody better to fit our team than O'Reilly. So, Billy, I hope you're listening again and make them pull the deal on it, because teams are scared of us right now. You know, I do stuff on other podcasts, and the Colorado TV station sent me a big thank you today, talking about the Wild. What I said is this: we've already beaten Colorado and Dallas. With the addition of Hughes, the Minnesota Wild fear nobody. And with the our goalie tandem of Jesper and Gus Bus, we have the winning advantage. And I got I don't know, 20, 30 comments all agreeing with me. And that's from Colorado, and they're really tough fans. So I appreciate it. And yeah, thank you, Colorado TV, for doing that. And I have to tell you, we have Scott Bjugstad coming on the show tonight. And has he clicked in yet?
Not yet.
Okay, well, he's supposed to come on in very shortly. And he's going to reminisce about his 1985-1986 season with the North Stars, where he had a career year, a magical year. Now, for all you who don't know about the North Stars, and for all you who do, 85-86, we had 9 players with 50 points or more. Neil Broughton had his best year ever in the NHL with 105 points, and then we had Neil Broughton and Dino Ciccarelli and Brian Bellows, Bjugstad, Acton, Marouk, Hartsburg. I mean, that team was so loaded up. It's just going to be a joy to listen to him reminisce about his exceptional season, because it really was a magical year. And I'm not going to give the opening until he comes on, but he's in a very elite company in the NHL, period. I don't think he knows about this, but I've been doing a lot of research, and I think he's going to be surprised. What time is it?
It's 8:16. We can just keep going until he pops in. I'll be able to get the notification that he's in.
Okay.
I know he's a busy guy. He might have had somebody stop him after his classes were done for any number of things.
I can tell you this, and I'll tell it again when he comes on. Scott Bjugstad is in very special company. There's only been 13 players in the history of the NHL who shot 19% or better, and he's one of them. I scored 43 goals and 33 assists for 76 points. And 19%, guess who he's tied with? Mario Lemieux. Yeah, that's how special that year was for him. And he's going to talk about it. I can't wait. It's going to be a joy because, I had a lot of friends on the North Stars. And talking to them off air and, just reminiscing about the North Stars with them. It was so cool. So let me see here. Where do I want to go with this?
Do we want to get into some Wild questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
So Nathan wanted to know what you thought of the Quinn Hughes trade, but I think we answered that.
Best trade Wild history.
Yeah. Let's go to this one. People bring up Sidney Crosby. Is there any way that could possibly actually happen?
Yeah, Judd said the same thing. They're dreaming. Sidney's a Pittsburgh Penguin. His heart and soul is there. He's not going anywhere.
Let's go to anybody know what's up with Foligno and Marcus Johansson. I have not heard an update on Johansson at all. I think we'll probably get that tomorrow. The Wild had a day off today, which is fine by me. I would imagine we will hear an update on Johansson tomorrow. The last update I had on Marcus Foligno was that he is quote unquote more than day to day. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means 2-3 days, 3-4 days, 4-5 days. I don't know what more than day to day means other than the literal definition of the phrase more than day to day. So I have no idea. And then all the other injuries were players that are no longer on the roster. Marco Rossi was progressing, and now he has slotted into play with Vancouver.
First line.
I saw some people say, oh, it's nice that he was able to come back into the lineup with Vancouver, not with Minnesota. That's just how it worked out. He would have played. Yep. If he was still here, he would have played in that next game.
The Vancouver is a win-win situation. They got William Rossi, Ogren, and a first. And you know what? It's a win-win for both teams. Anybody says different, they do not understand hockey. It takes talent to get talent. And that's just how it works. Say, Seth?
Yeah.
I'm going to call Scott and see if there's something wrong.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I'll put you on mute and I'll go full screen.
Okay.
All right. Let's I like this from Trav. Is he week to week? No. Is he day to day? No. We don't really know what he is at this point. I'm going to answer this one. Is Faber the best D partner Quinn Hughes has ever had? The D core in Vancouver wasn't as deep outside of Quinn Hughes. Wondering if he could elevate his game even more with a D partner like Faber. I kind of dove into this for last night's episode. I think that has a chance to be the new power D pairing in the Central Division. Because this will allow Hughes to jump up in the play every time he's on defense. Every time he's on defense. If he plays with Faber, Faber is smart enough, responsible enough to handle the defensive responsibilities in that pairing. And look, Faber's not a slouch offensively either. I just think that grouping really, I just think that pairing is really going to feed off of each other. And I know analytically, the numbers for Quinn Hughes in his debut were okay. But look, he scored a goal. He looked every bit of the part. And that's really all that matters to me at this point is we saw the immediate impact that he is going to have on this lineup. And you play him and Faber together. I think that has a chance to go down as the next, depending on what happens with Hughes. If he stays, which it sounds like he's at least open to at this point. If he stays with the Wilds, him and Faber have a chance to. That has a chance to be one of the best D pairings that the Minnesota Wild have had in their history, and that's not an exaggeration. They just feels like they complement each other considerably. So looks like we got Denny back. So we'll bring him on, and I will exit out of full screen.
I don't know what's going on.
Did he not answer?
No.
Oh, well.
And I know he was extremely excited about coming on, so something's happened. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I did send him the link about 7 o'clock. I wanted to wait so that it popped up to the top of his inbox.
Sure.
So, I mean, we'll if he comes on later here in the show, we'll get him on. If we need to move him to another show, we'll do whatever we need to do.
Absolutely.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I was just talking, Denny, and I did an episode about this last night about Brock Faber being paired up with Quinn Hughes.
Yep.
Is that the best D partner that Hughes has ever had? And what do you think of that pairing for the Wild?
They're dangerous. Not only is Quinn Hughes a Norris Cup, but now you're going to see Brock Faber take off because Hughes makes everybody better. He's got that talent just like Kaprizov, where he makes everybody better. So does Hughes. You're going to see that's going to be one hell of a defensive pairing there. I'm going to go out on the limb here and say they're going to be the best in the NHL. You know, Brock Faber has always been A+, but now you can add another plus to it. It's just the way Hughes works. I mean, Hughes is a very special player. You know, when I compare him to Bobby Orr, and I know a lot of you never saw Bobby Orr play, but Bobby Orr is why Quinn Hughes plays the way he does today. And you can look at Carlson. I mean, there's been a lot of players after Bobby Orr, but Bobby Orr really brought what a defenseman can do to help a team, going coast to coast. And Hughes has all those attributes. He can go coast to coast, no problem. As you said, he can break some ankles. Well, that's what Bobby Orr used to do. You go left, you go right. And you just couldn't stop him. And Hughes has that same attribute. He's that good. And I don't say that lightly. You know, he's just that good. And he makes the Wild so much better. We were a very good team without him. But I don't think Denver, Dallas, Carolina, the Islanders, there's nobody can touch us now. I really think we have the best team. And of course, we're going to see coming up in the year, because, you know, how many more games we got with Colorado? 3, Dallas 3.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to see a decided winning advantage for Minnesota, because look how we dealt Dallas. They had no chance against us, and Colorado was a very close game because, you know, as I told you before, Colorado's the best team I've seen in 50 years. They're that good. What they don't have is Jesper Wallstedt, and that's why I'm picking us to beat them.
Here's my thoughts on what the Quinn Hughes acquisition does.
Okay.
I think Quinn Hughes puts us ahead of Dallas. If you have all the pieces together for all three of the teams, for Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas, I think Quinn Hughes puts us above Dallas, still probably slightly below Colorado just because of Nathan McKinnon. And if their goaltending keeps going the way that it is, they're tough to beat. But I think this leapfrogs the Minnesota Wild to 2 at the least.
Well, being that we've already beat them without Hughes, we're just that much stronger with them.
Yeah.
I mean, we shut down Colorado, and, their big thing, as I talked about last week, is they use the stretch pass. It's prevalent with the stretch pass. You got McCarr passing McKinnon, and all hell breaks loose. Well, now we got Hughes with Kaprizov. We can match that.
And the Minnesota Wild are one of the top 5 teams in the league as far as stretch passes attempted. And guess who happens to be pretty good at stretch passes? Quinn Hughes.
Exactly. Probably number 1, I would think.
Yeah, there are a lot of metrics where he is number 1 as far as puck possession goes, zone entries, zone exits. So he's going to cover that ward up pretty quick. Stretch passes, him and Kaprizov they're going to connect on a couple. Like it's just bound to happen. And Hughes said that. He said as much after the game yesterday. Yep. He said, once we get the timing down, we're going to start to make some plays. And
and he said he wasn't expecting that pass from Kaprizov. Tells he just wasn't ready for Kaprizov.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. When they get in order, they're just gonna be dangerous. I can't wait for the rest of the year. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
I want to get to this comment. Danila Yurov made the trade possible. If his offensive game takes off, the Wild will be in business. I think that's 100% right. I don't think the Wilds are willing to move Marco Rossi unless Danila Yurov is, at this point, he is 100% playable in the lineup. We're still the offense is still coming around. Defense plays immediately. But the thing that you look for is just looking the part. And he does. Danila Yurov looks like an NHLer, and that's half the battle. And the fact that he was able to as quickly develop into that as he has, that's one of the reasons that Bill Guerin was comfortable making this trade.
Absolutely. Yeah, Yurov is going to be an excellent center for us. Just a kid learning, and he fits right in. He's not overwhelmed at all. And that's a very good sign. The points will come.
Mm-hmm.
His two-way game is way ahead of a first-year player. He's much like Rossi. Rossi was an excellent two-way player when he started out, and so is Yurov. Any questions or comments?
Oh, yeah. Let's get to this one. Let's get to this one from Glenn. The thing that bites is the stupid playoff schedule needs to change next year. You got to go 1v8, 2v7, 3v6, and 4v5.
Boy, I'm all over that one. We have the worst playoff format in all professional sports. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Because, when you take out one top team right away, that takes a lot from it just takes away a lot from the playoffs.
Yeah.
1 through 8 has to be and should be the way it is, but it's not.
I think Gary Bettman's thinking is backwards on this. Because I think what he was attempting to do was avoid the first round being too watered down. Like you think about a 1 versus 8 matchup, and you just assume in your head, well, yeah, that's going to be pretty lopsided. That'll be 4-1 or 4-2. But the thing is, it's the NHL. And a lot of times that 8 seed got in because of a hot goalie, or they put a hot stretch of play together at the end of the season.
Yep.
You don't know. That 1 versus 8 might go 7.
Yeah, look at the Los Angeles Kings a few years back. They went on to have a hell of a playoff speed with the 1-8 because they had that stole games. You get in the playoffs, you have a chance to win. 1 through 8 is the way it should be.
Yeah, you should be trying to see these Central Division clashes in the semifinals.
Absolutely.
Or the finals.
I hope he changes it. I sent an email to the NHL. Remember last week I talked about Turin, Italy, and having the Olympics there in 2006. Well, I haven't heard back from the NHL yet, and maybe I never will. But at least they have something to look at because I got reports today. It's not going to happen. They're not going to be done. And now people are talking about there will be no Olympics. They can go to Turin and make it happen. And I just hope it.
That would be a catastrophe if they don't end up having the Olympics after all this hype and build up. But I'm not gonna go super far down that road. I have at this point really no desire to dive deep into Olympic stuff yet, because that basically means we've got a month off. We got a month of no NHL games. So I'm in my head trying to figure out what the heck am I going to talk about? What am I going to do for a month?
Summertime production.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something. Let's go to, this is a good one from Diane. She says, anyone happy about Parise making the I think this was the US Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yep.
That he made. She said she is. She said he was one of her favorite players. I think we can absolutely be happy for Zach Parise making the US Hockey Hall of Fame.
Zach Parise got hurt right before the playoffs, along with who was the defenseman? Our big scorer. Oh, I can't think of his name now. They signed both of them together.
Suter.
They both got hurt before the playoffs started, and that killed our chances. And Parise was a great player for us. And if you remember Parise, he was very good down low. And he got cross-checked to no end and ended up having to have back surgery because of it. And but Parise was a hell of a player. So was Suter. I mean, all the stuff on the side, forget that. They were both big additions, and they filled the seats. The only problem that I have is the 13-year contracts are terrible.
Yeah.
At the most, they should have been 10, and we would have been just fine with that. I'm happy for Parise getting in.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a player for us, and he had a hell of a career.
I think that's the correct take. I have no problem with signing those guys at all because of where that Wild team was at. I have a problem with the length of the deal, and I have a problem with the fact that the NHL, out of spite, decided to penalize the Minnesota Wild after those contracts had already started.
Yep.
Those are the two. Yep. Those are the two spots that I dislike. Did I call Ryan Suter on multiple occasions a boat anchor at the end of his career? Yes, but he wasn't fleet of foot. He was never a fleet of foot player. He was always very capable offensively, and Zach Parise was a prolific goal scorer. They were good players.
Yes, they were. Their antics got them. What they did outside the rink was another deal.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into that because it's none of our business what happened there. But when they signed with us, that was huge.
Yeah.
The two biggest off-season acquisitions in the NHL that year was Suter and Parisi from Minnesota. I mean, that was big. And, it is what it is.
And I
question.
think the difference that we're seeing with the Kirill and Quinn Hughes situation is that as good as Zach Parise and Ryan Suter are, or were, is probably the better phrase to use. They weren't in that franchise cornerstone tier. Like Kirill Kaprizov, far better player. Again, no knock on Zach. Kirill Kaprizov is far better. Like that's just the way it is. And it's the same thing with Quinn Hughes for Ryan Suter. Like the Wild have two of the top 20 players in the league.
Top 10.
Yeah, I mean, those lists are all subjective. Like you can make compelling cases to move people up and down. Point is, the Wild have two franchise cornerstones. Quinn Hughes, for those that may not remember, Quinn Hughes was Vancouver's captain.
And the Norris winner.
92 points 2 years ago.
Yeah.
17 goals last year, 16 the previous year. As a defenseman.
He's only going to be better with us because we're a better team.
Yeah.
And as I had a question last week about Kaprizov, and he's only been playing average. Well, now you're seeing him take off. You're going to see the Kaprizov that we've all been wishing for. He's coming alive. And who else? Who better than Kaprizov to take off? I mean, what's he got for points right now? 35.
Well, I know he 36. Has 20 goals.
Yeah.
He has 37 points.
37 points.
Same as Boldy.
Yeah. And Boldy has turned himself into a superstar too. He's honing his craft. He's become so good. He's always been very good. But now, in tight space, he's making space. He's going back. He's doing everything he can to make the team better, which wasn't always the case last year. As you remember, He went 23 games where he's just lollygagging up and down the ice. He wasn't back checking. And I think that was because he had a problem with Hines. Things are all straightened out, and we're so much better for it because Boldy has become a superstar. You're going to see him 100-point player this year. And when's the last time we had 200-point players?
Never have. The Minnesota Wild have never had, well, the Wild at least, have never had two 100-point players. Boldy has far and away been the best player on this Minnesota Wild team this season. In and out.
Absolutely.
Every game, dialed in, locked in. He's been sensational. He's been sensational this year.
Yep, he really has, and it shows. It really does. Next question.
Just want to do projections here quick. Kirill is on pace for 50 goals and 92 points. Boldy's on pace for 45 goals and 92 points.
They're both going to hit 100.
That was pre-Quinn Hughes.
Yep.
That was pre-Quinn Hughes projections. They'll both get up to 100. Can we talk about Vladimir Tarasenko?
Yeah, what do you want to know?
We have a few. Oh, this is a good point by Scott, too. Arguably 4 of the top 20, including Faber and also including Boldy, in addition to Kaprizov and Quinn. They got 4 players that are in the elite category.
Yep. No, they have 6. Don't forget our goalies.
Yeah.
We have the best goalie tandem in the league, bar none.
Look at me sitting over here shortchanging them. We've had a couple of questions about Tarasenko, with the injuries that the Wild are currently dealing with the fact that I got to give some credit to Tyler Pitlick. I didn't think
he's been playing really well.
I didn't think I'd be saying that, but he has found his role, I think, on that fourth line.
I agree. I like what he's been doing. He brings a spark, and he really gets involved when he's out there. He doesn't get that much ice time, but when he's out there, you can absolutely see a difference. He generates chances, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. So the question then
he got a goal.
The question becomes, I completely forgot that he scored.
Yeah.
That just adds to the intrigue. You've got Zuccarello out. You've got Foligno out. Who comes out of the lineup when those two return?
Tarasenko, number 1. Ben Jones, number 2. Ben Jones doesn't play bad. He doesn't hurt us. I don't know what the deal is. He's never gotten a point. And I don't understand because, he deserves to get a couple of points. He plays hard. He hasn't hurt us on the fourth line. The fourth line generates chances.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for.
It's when he gets elevated. It's when he gets elevated that it becomes noticeable. Like if you put him in a fourth line role, you can kind of manage the minutes if you need to. But I think you're right on. Like I've said this all season. Like I don't really feel like rehashing it over and over and over again, but the reason Vladimir Tarasenko was brought in was pretty apparent now that he was brought in as insurance for Danil Yurov in case he wasn't ready. Problem is he's ready.
Absolutely.
So now you have you've kind of got a little bit of a redundancy. And I would rather that spot go to somebody that can skate. Like Tarasenko's he's not fleet of foot.
He's lost his foot speed.
He's like Jerome Bettis, Pittsburgh Steelers. He'll get you 3 yards of carry. They're hard fought yards, but at some point you got to stretch the ball downfield.
There you go. That's a good take.
Vladimir Tarasenko is Jerome Bettis on skates.
Oh, I love it. That's a good take.
And at some point, get somebody else that can skate in there. I'm glad that Crush 44 brought this up because I think we kind of touched on it, but I really did want to, and this is something that Alex and I are going to talk about for tomorrow's episode. By the way, if there ever are Mondays where it's like, oh, where's Alex? Alex didn't go anywhere. It's just a lot of times I run into getting wiped out and tired on Sunday nights. And half the time when we're going to start to get set up to record, I fall asleep and I wake up the next morning. So we record sometimes on Monday nights for Tuesday, sometimes Sunday nights for Monday, but we always get Alex in on the weekly. It just, sometimes it's Monday, sometimes it's Tuesday.
Alex and you are so good together. He's a plethora of information. I mean, Alex, he knows everything.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yes, he does. But the possibility of Quinn Hughes resigning, because you saw his comments after the game, right, Denny?
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. Vancouver Daily said today that he didn't want to sign with New Jersey. Michael Russo brought up the fact that it would hurt his brother if he signed over there. And I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest thing for any NHL player is to win the cup. And he has his best chance of winning a cup is right here. And, like I said, I think we're winning the cup this year strictly because of him.
Yeah, because
he's not going anywhere. He's going to re-sign with us. I have no worries about it at all.
The Devils are a bit of a mess. I mean, they are above 500, but they're dealing with a bunch of injuries. They're inconsistent. Here's another thing to consider as well. One of the Hughes brothers, I think it's Jack. He is a free agent 3 seasons from now. So he signed this year. He signed for 3 more.
Yeah.
So Quinn could say, I'm going to stick in Minnesota until that is up, and then we'll see what happens from there. Because he seemed he seemed blown away that the Wild were willing to give up the assets that they did for him.
Yep.
Like he seemed like that made a major impression on him.
Absolutely.
And not only the Wild ponying up to get him, but all the teams that talked the talk, but weren't willing to walk the walk. And like they were, we'd love to get a player of Quinn Hughes caliber. We'd love to get a guy like that on our roster. And then it gets to the asking price, and they're like, well, we don't want him. We don't want him that much. We don't want him here for that price. Kind of makes you think we're interested in him to a point. But Bill Guerin was like, no, we're getting this done. We're getting this done no matter what the cost.
Like I said to begin the show, Billy cemented his legacy in Wild history with the best trade in Minnesota Wild history. And I'm not kidding. Players like him never come along, and Billy did what he had to do, and I'm so glad he did. Because we are a true. I'm just telling you, we're going to win the cup this year.
Yeah, and sorry
go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. Just look at like Quinn looked invigorated. Kirill looked invigorated. Hard to tell with Matt Boldy because that's just how he's looked all season. Brock Faber looked invigorated. The point that I'm getting at is the whole team looked invigorated.
Excited.
Yes.
Excited. And that's what Quinn Hughes does for this team. And he got a standing ovation in practice before the game. And every time he came on the ice, he got a standing ovation. And, he said as much. He goes, Minnesota hockey. And he talked about the state of hockey, and it means a lot to him. And I don't see any problems with him resigning here. I really don't. Every player wants to win the cup, and he has his best chance of winning a cup right here. So I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah. The arena was as loud in his debut as it was in Game 3 of the playoff series against Dallas at home. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. A playoff game at home where the noise level is equal to a regular season game in December. People have been waiting. The show has been waiting for this for 4 years.
Yep. And Billy did it. Like I said, my hat's off to him. Best trade in Wild history as far as I'm concerned. You just don't get Norris Trophy winners. They don't come around. And
Ever.
and he did it. He got it. and we are so much better for it.
Yeah. And the funny part about it too is that that presser that Billy had with the media about the trade.
Yeah. With the meatballs.
Kind of seemed like a guy that knows something but can't really talk about it at this point. AKA there might be something else in the works.
Well, we need a center.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about for the last month. O'Reilly's the best fit. He would just fit right in here. And, what more can I say about him? Every podcaster now everywhere thinks O'Reilly is the best center to get. Well, I've been talking about this for the last month. As you know, O'Reilly would just cure any ills that we have left. It's 50%, 57% in the dot. Think of how big that is in the playoffs. I mean, face-offs in the defensive zone on a penalty kill. We got O'Reilly. Yeah, that says a lot. Next question, if any.
Oh, we've got a couple more.
Let's get to them.
I want to get to this one from Matthew. Do we have any updates on Charlie Stramel? Stats look good, but could he actually get a role on the team for the end of the season and the playoffs? I think that might be a little on the early side, but he's gonna sign his ELC in the offseason.
Oh, absolutely. And last year when we watched him in the training camp deal, when we went to see him, what camp was that when we went to watch all the players?
That was development camp. Was it before last year?
Or maybe it's 2 years ago. And everybody was so down on him, and I said, you better hold up on that one because he really looked good to me. And he hasn't disappointed me at all. He has come alive. And going to Michigan State has just helped him tremendously. He's their best player. Is he ready for the NHL yet? No. He's good. It's going to take him some time in the NHL to get used to the speed of the game because, but he's big, he's strong, he can skate, and he's going to be a valuable addition when he gets up here. I got no problems with him.
They might, since Rasmus Kumpalainen is kind of a similar type of player, they might package one of them. Because another question that we have that we can just slide right into is, should the Wild empty the cupboard the way the Tampa Bay Lightning did to grab the Hagels, the Colemans, the McDonoughs of the world to solidify a top-down cup roster? And the answer to that is yes.
Hell yeah.
The answer to that is a resounding yes. This goes back to that adage. I wish I could find it. It was somebody on X that posted that said, when you are in a cup window, every single asset that can help you now, you keep. Every single asset that does not help you win a Stanley Cup this minute, on the table.
Absolutely.
That's how all of the GMs that have won cups, that's how Bill Zito did it. That's how Colorado's done it. That's how the Dallas Stars have done it. That's how the Pittsburgh Penguins did it. That's how the Tampa Bay Lightning did it. You build up that cup roster, and if you end up winning a cup, everybody's going to be partying so much. If you're down the next year, if you're down, especially in Minnesota, if you win a cup and you're down for 5 years, who cares? You won a cup. You won a cup.
And that is every player's dream, is to win the cup. And that's why Quinn Hughes is not going anywhere. He knows what Minnesota has, and he has said as much. I would not worry about at all him resigning. He's going to resign.
Yeah, the Florida Panthers, having won 2 straight Stanley Cups, just riddled with injuries this year, I'm sure there are some fans that are like, I'd rather still be competitive. But a lot of the fans are like, oh, I'm just going to go back and watch the Stanley Cup highlights from the past season. Just watch the DVD. 2 straight Stanley Cups. Like I guarantee if you poll most fans of the Panthers this year, they're barely paying attention to what the team is doing. They're like, I'm still celebrating the 2 cups that we just won.
Yeah. I've been waiting a long time for a cup, and this is the best team the Minnesota Wild have ever had. And I don't say that lightly. We really do. We match up with anybody. The Wild fear nobody. And nobody wants to play the Minnesota Wild. I listened to Bedard, what's his name, the coach for Colorado.
Oh,
he was not
Bednar?
happy. Yeah, Bednar. He was not happy about us getting Quinn Hughes. Says, yeah, they were a really good team, but now they're really a good team. And that says a lot because, Colorado has, they have their things together. They have an awesome team. I mean, I have never seen a team like Colorado in the last 50 years, as I've said before. They're that good. But we match up really well. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jesper Wallstedt makes the difference. And that's why we're going to count. Next question.
Take that to the bank.
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard a little bit of the Locked On Avalanche guys, and they were saying that the acquisition of Quinn Hughes by the Minnesota Wild is a problem.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which it for sure is. So what a lot of the Trav's right on here. Get healthy, stay healthy, get a bit better down the middle, and give it hell.
There you go. That's a good one, Trav.
Here's what I was gonna do to finish the show.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to NHL.com and we're gonna look at face-off percentages. And I'm gonna look for players who could potentially be available. We're gonna do this strictly by face-off percentage.
Okay.
Strictly by face-off percent. Oh, ick. I don't want the guys that have taken 2 face-offs. Come on. Okay, so Nico Hischier of the New Jersey Devils is at 54%. He's going to cost a lot, though. I don't know that the Devils would even be willing to part with him.
I don't think so.
Sidney Crosby's at 55.5, 63.5 on the power play. But again, highly unlikely that he moves. I don't really want Chandler Stevenson, but he's at 51.7. Bo Horvat.
He's not going anywhere. Islanders are in first place.
Bo Horvat's at 57.8%, 64% on the power play.
Where's O'Reilly?
Ryan O'Reilly. Now, I went on faceoffs taken. Ryan O'Reilly is at 57.1. He's at 60.2% on the power play, 55.9 on the kill.
There you go. Can't ask for better than that. And with his cap hit, we can get him. We could get him. A month ago when I put up the top 25, O'Reilly and Tuck were my 2 top picks, and it hasn't changed. And now that GM just fired their GM, who knows what's going to happen in Buffalo?
Yeah.
If we could get Tuck, I'm all over that. But we absolutely should get O'Reilly because he just cures our ills.
I know he's not scoring, but Robert Thomas is at 53.5, 60.7 on the power play, 53.2 on the kill.
Yeah. And what's he going to cost?
Well, that's the thing. He's going to cost a
lot.
pretty penny. Another name that's interesting, and I'm just going strictly off of face-offs. I don't have the contract stuff in front of me. What about Mikhail Backlund? Oh, no, he's sub 50% on the power play. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Trash. Yeah, that's about it that's out of it as of right now. O'Reilly, I mean, you could go to San Jose probably and get a guy like Wennerberg, but he's below 50% substantially. Kevin Stenlund is in kind of he'd be a lower in the lineup ad. He's at 50 plus in all the key categories. John Tavares is at 60% in every spot.
Yeah, Tavares will cost a ton.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford him. O'Reilly is perfect. He's got a low cap hit. It wouldn't take but 3 pieces to get him. And that solidifies our team. Excuse me. Any more questions?
We got a few people asking about the potential for Granlund to come back. Where is he even at?
He's in San Jose. He's in Anaheim.
Oh. Here's another one. And this is one that you've previously brought up. J.G. Pajot.
Islanders are in first place. They're not moving anybody. They're looking to acquire, not
59.3% in all situations.
Yeah.
63% on the penalty kill. Jeez.
Yeah. I really liked him in the beginning, but the Islanders are taking their kids. They're playing, with Schaefer. He's just been going off, and he's transformed that team just like Quinn Hughes is doing for us. He's doing that. Schaefer is just one hell of a player. As a kid, he's going to make the Olympics, I think.
Wow.
For Canada. Yeah.
This must be in like 10 attempts. Aatu Ratti is winning 81% of his draws on the power play.
Yeah, how many?
That's got to be in like 10. That's got to be in like 10 attempts. That's absurd.
Yeah.
That's
He's
absurd.
only got 3 goals, and they all came against us.
Yeah. Gross. The thing that we'll finish with, current cap space for the Wild is 1.2 milli. Trade deadline is roughly 3.7. So factor that in, get a team to retain, and make it happen. Make it rain, as the kids say. Jesse and I and everybody, we dared Billy to make a trade. He did. Let's run it back. Let's do it again.
There you go. Well, I think that's the end of the show for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Rant and Rave. I really do appreciate it. And we'll see you next Monday night, 8 o'clock. Is that good?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.